Alright, today we're going to do a posture assessment of my patient here. If you'll notice from the posterior view, his left ear level is slightly lower than the contralateral side. And this is while he is sitting and standing. You'll notice that the patient's head also tilts slightly to the left, and this is what's causing the ear to be lower on that side. Also, cervical spine alignment, you can tell is off to the right a little bit, partially because this is caused by the head tilt. You can see where the spine goes to the right slightly. As far as muscle tone and bulk, I'm sure you can see that the muscle tone on the right side it's more toned and there's more mass. This probably comes from this patient being an athlete from the right hand dominant side. On his left side, you'll see a slight scapular abduction, where the scapula is abducted away from the spine. And then if the patient will turn to the lateral position. From the lateral side, you can see that my patient has a slight forward head tilt, or forward head posture. His cervical spine, you can see that he has a slight case of cervical lordosis, where the spine loses its curvature. You can also see that his shoulders are protracted on both the left and right sides, causing almost a hunched look. And then if the patient will turn to the anterior side, if you'll see here, the left side is much more toned. The muscle tone is much more prevalent on the left side than the right side. His clavicle is also much higher on the left side. If you look, you can see, and you'll be able to see that more when we get to the seated position. The left shoulder is also slightly raised. This probably comes from carrying a bag or some sort on the right shoulder a lot. Rounded shoulders, you can kind of see a little bit. That's what we were talking about with the protracted shoulders earlier. Chest, the left pectoral muscle is much more defined and it's higher than its contralateral side. His carry angle, he slightly leans to the right based on the pictures that I took earlier. You may be able to see this more in the video. And then now I'm going to have him sit down in this chair and assess him that way. While seated, his head still has the slight tilt to the left, just as when he was standing up. Shoulder height is probably a little more prevalent when he's seated. The left shoulder is raised compared to the right shoulder. And then from the lateral view, if you'll turn sideways for me, what you can see here is his head and neck. He has the forward head tilt, and it's much more prevalent. If I could get my video to stand a little more on the side here, you can really see his neck is tilted forward a lot more when he's seated, and this is pretty common. Shoulder position, his shoulders are also much more protracted. They're rounded even more so, and this is also causing the cervical the cervical lordosis. You can see that more here when he's seated also. For when he's sitting down, you can see that his lumbar spine is much more flat if the video will come back over here on this side. His lumbar spine is much more flat, and then that's pretty much it for that. If you do take a anterior view, if you would come over here, you can also, where we mentioned when he was standing up, that his clavicles were much higher on the left side. You can see that here also, and you can also see the shoulders much higher on the left side now as well. And that's pretty much it. Thank you.